Hello and welcome to the Daily Meal for Saturday the 6th of January and Sunday the 7th of January 2024. Double bubble. Instead of doing a video on Saturday and just doing a double one on Sunday. And we're going to start off obviously the match report from the cup game against Leicester, which we played very well and probably put some poor finishing and maybe some poor goalkeeping. Probably cost us the result, but yeah. So this is a match report. Mill exited the Emirates FA Cup at the third round stage on Saturday afternoon as Leicester City were 3-2 winners at the Den. Kasadi gave the visitors what? Gave the visitors the lead. I think there's some words missing from this match report. Kasadi gave the visitors the lead against the run of play in South London before Fox's captain Ricardo Pereira doubled the advantage in the first half. Duncan Watmore then grabbed the deserved goal for Millwall to halve the deficit, only for Thomas Cameron to put Leicester 3-1 up shortly after. Zion Fleming notched with 4 minutes to go to make it 3-2, but the Lions could not force an equaliser and were instead knocked out of the competition. Joe Edwards was able to call upon Wes Harding once again against the Foxes, whilst Joe Bryan and Duncan Watmore also returned to the starting 11. The substitutes, meanwhile, contained a quartet of under-21 stars in Kamal Grant, George Walker, Nino Adamalaki, and Shamar Lawson. The Lions started on the front foot against their opponents, forcing a couple of opportunities, but Watmore could only draw a save from a Jakub Storosko. Watmore and Danny McNamara then worked well down the right hand side with 7 minutes on the clock. However, once again the goalkeeper was equal to a shot by the right back. Kevin Nisbet then fired over as the chances continued to flow for Millwall, whilst Matija Sarkic had to rush out at the other end to deny the Foxes as they looked to threaten around the 15-minute mark. Just a minute later, the visitors were in front with their first real effort of the match as Yunus Akgun's cross was headed in by Kasadi at the back post. The Lions were to carry on as normal though, with Watmore forcing Stolarczyk into a save once again at the midway point of the half, while both Nisbet and Bryan tried their luck but to no avail. Watmore was proving a nuisance to the Leicester back line and hit 1 inches over on the half-hour mark, with Ryan headed on his 150th Millwall appearance, seeing a cross deflected just past the far post moments later. Jake Cooper headed a Bryan corner kick over the crossbar as the Lions continued to pepper the Leicester goal, but with 6 minutes to play until the break and with the Fox's second effort of the afternoon, Captain Ricardo Pereira was able to ghost into the box and fire past Sarkic to make it 2-0. Akgun worked Sarkic into a save as the visitors looked to make it 3 before the half-time whistle, with one more Millwall chance coming as Nisbet went for goal, but his attempt was blocked. The second half was less than 20 seconds old when Millwall could have got a goal back. However, Nisbet's shot was blocked by the Leicester defence. Substitute Ryan Longman then drew a comfortable save from Stolarczyk, and Watmore twisted and turned in the opponent area only for the stopper to claim as the Lions' onslaught carried on. But Millwall were indebted to Sarkic on 52 minutes as the goalkeeper made a smart double save from Kasadi and Akgun. There were 56 minutes played when the Lions finally got their reward. A George Honeyman corner was touched on by Zion Fleming and into the path of Watmore, who tucked the ball home at the back post. 5 minutes later, though, the Foxes' 2-goal advantage was restored as a long ball forward caught out the Millwall defence with Cannon rounding Sarkic and guiding the ball into an empty net. Tom Bradshaw replaced Nisbet with a view to shaking things up in attack, and it was Watmore's cross which almost found the Welshman lurking in the box with 15 minutes to play, but Stolarczyk claimed. Another double save from Sarkic then kept the deficit at 2 going into the final 10 minutes, whilst at the other end, Bradshaw was met by the diver Stolarczyk as he struck left-footed from inside the area. From that corner, however, Fleming guided the ball into the bottom corner on the volley to make it 3-2. Bradshaw's glancing header travelled towards goal, but was saved at the beginning of 5 minutes of stoppage time, with Fleming's low free kick rolling just past the far post in the dying embers of the match. And the team was as follows: Sarkic, Leonard, Cooper, Harding, McNamara, Honeyman, Mitchell, Bryan, Watmore, Fleming, and Nisbet. The subs were Longman on for Leonard on 42 minutes. That was sadly because of an injury to Leonard. More on that in a minute. Essay on 77 minutes for Watmore and Bradshaw on for Nisbet on the 67th minute. The unused substitutes were Truman, Campbell, and then Grant, Walker, Adam Malaka, and Lawson. So again, no Biakovsky either on the bench. Now, why is that? Is he injured as well now? So we will have to see. We'll have to see. Moving on to this from Southern News, Mill boss reflects on the ups and downs of Leicester's 3-2 FA Cup win at the Den. There were parts of the game that Joe Edwards liked, but said his side fell short in both boxes. Joe Edwards believes that the key difference between Millwall and Leicester City was the performance in the two boxes during the Lions' 3-2 FA Cup defeat at the Den. Mill gave a good account of themselves, but went 2-0 down by half-time after goals from Cassady and Pereira, and then you know what else happened because I just spoke about it. Speaking after the game, Edwards said, "I was pleased today with how much we created from our possession. We spoke a lot about how we want to have more of the ball, but the big thing is about that we do when we've got it." And I thought the standout positive for us today was we played a lot from our goalkeeper, playing short into defenders. The outcome of it was we were playing through Leicester and getting into their final third a lot. We've had other games where we started to look like a team with a clear idea in possession, but not really create much. So to have that many shots in a positive, but the flip side of that is to make a couple of minor errors in and around our own box, and combined with the high level of quality they've got, and before you know it, you're 2-0 down. And you're scratching your head asking why, but those are the margins. I thought we were the better team between the two boxes, but in both boxes they dominated. They were clinical in ours and we weren't quite in theirs, but a lot of positives in the performance. Asked about the quality of Championship leaders Leicester, Edwards said, "Oh, you know what you're up against. Even when you see the team come out and you see what it is for them, a number of changes from the team that regularly plays in the Championship week in and week out, you see the line-up on paper and there's still some high-quality players in there. And I felt we dominated the game, and you could see they made changes and we looked more of a comfortable team in what we were doing in the game. But if you look at our error for the Pereira goal, you can scrutinise us and criticise us, but they're only fine margins, and when a player over his level can just cut through you and finish like that, it can be the difference. We had more than enough opportunities of our own in their box, but we weren't quite the same, and goals decide games." Despite the defeat, Millwall players were given a decent reception by fans after the full-time whistle. Edwards said, "Oh, we spoke after the last game, and I don't think many teams have scored two against them, and by the end of it, we were pushing for a third. At 2-1, it looked like we were maybe going to level it. We looked the more likely team to score, so the third goal was the killer blow, but like all of the performance recently, I think the fans can see a team that are fully committed in giving everything and putting a shift in without the ball, which is what you have to do against Leicester. The way pressed them at times, although it can look like quite passive because of the way they're positioning themselves, and you have to be smart with it. It does require a lot of work to block all the spaces out goodbye. I thought we did it really well. There weren't many times when they played out from the keeper through us and created big chances, so the fans are seeing the team put a shift in and be brave on the ball, and in recent weeks we've got our rewards. Today we didn't, but if we can replicate that level of performance more often than not at the Den and just improve on those finer little details around the boxes, then there's a lot to be positive about, I think." So there you go. And here we go, the injuries. What the hell happened here? What's going on here then? Noah Maku's in the starting lineup. Noah Maku on the bench. Ryan Leonard gets injured. He has to go off. It's not what we need right now. Really isn't what we need. This is from southernnews.co.uk. Joe Edwards gives update on Ryan Leonard and Domu Maku after latest Mill injury blows. Having managed to get through December with very few injury concerns, suddenly the Lions are dealing with many first-team players picking up issues. Joe Edwards is opening Ryan Leonard's hamstring injury is not too bad after the defender went off against Leicester City. Shortly after the Fox's second goal, the 31-year-old looked upset as he left the pitch with medical staff after being assessed on the pitch. He was replaced by Ryan Longman in a 3-2 FA Cup third round defeat and could now join Casper De Norre, Sean Hutchinson, Murray Wallace and Brooke Norton-Cuffy on the injury list. Well, Casper De Norre's back in training, so he might be back for the next game, Casper. Speaking after the game, Millwall boss Edwards said, it's obviously a big disappointment, not just for Lenny, but the week we've had, really. Since having that positive spell through the fixtures at Christmas, we've just lost a few from the Bristol City game, albeit not really long-term ones from that, but the Lenny one is disappointment because he's been integral to this sort of consistent run we've had of late. If I'm honest, his reaction, I'm not sure it was just more disappointment instead of pain. I haven't spoken to you yet. It's a hamstring, so it's one of those where over the next few days we're going to have to find the full extent of that. But hopefully it's not too bad. So, what did the headline say? He's out for a few weeks. No, doesn't. It just says he's hoping that it's not too bad. Jesus. Adamu Umaku missed the game after dislocating his shoulder and will be assessed in the coming days. Can you believe that? What the hell is going on? Edward said, from an extremely innocuous incident in training, he dislocated his shoulder yesterday. It's one of those where he's had a scan and now he's following up with an appointment with a specialist on Monday morning because when the shoulder pops in and out, it can either do very little damage, you can find yourself back on the pitch a week later, or they can be bad ones where at times you need surgery. So we have our fingers crossed on that. And by Monday afternoon, we'll have a better idea of when he'll be back. So I assume he fell to the ground in training and fell on his shoulder and it popped out, which is not good. But we'll see if it's good or bad. Goalkeeper Bartosz Piaskowski also missed the game as he had been unwell recently, has not trained. So illness. With all the absences, 4 youngsters still waiting to make their debuts. Malachi, Lawson, Grant and Walker made the bench, but none came on. Indeed, then what's the point? What is the point? You've got them there, and it's almost certain that then they're just there to make up the numbers. So, having these injuries at this time may be a bit of a blessing. Why? Because their transfer window is open. Yes, this is from londonnewsonline.co.uk, the South London Press's online website. Millwall injury setbacks could make transfer window deals more pressing. Joe Edwards says that Millwall's growing injury list could make transfers this month more pressing. The Lions head coach revealed after today's 3-2 FA Cup defeat to Leicester City that Adamu Umaku is set to see a specialist on Monday after dislocating his shoulder in training on Friday. Ryan Leonard came off against the Foxes with a hamstring injury. Asked how many signings he wanted to make in the January transfer window, Millwall head coach Edwards said, I haven't got a number on it. It's more of a pressing issue probably now. The more players that get injured, albeit not many of them are long-term ones, but now we see what Adomu is and see what Ryan Leonard's is. If we've got holes to fill, then we'll have to be active with that. We've been working on it. We've worked very closely with Alex Aldridge and the scouts to talk about the idea of what we're looking at, where we can improve the squad. That has been going on for weeks now. We've made contact with certain players and clubs, and the work's going on. We've spoken a lot about how the January transfer window isn't necessarily easy to get players. Hopefully it will be easier now. We look a team in a more positive place than we were a few weeks ago. Indeed. So moving on to this is an opinion piece talking to Joe Edwards about George Honeyman. Why are you finally playing him in his normal position? And lo and behold, he's playing quite well. So, Millwall boss Joe Edwards explains why George Honeyman has changed position ahead of today's FA Cup clash. The former Hull City star started Millwall's last 4 games and become an important part of their midfield over Christmas. Joe Edwards has been left impressed by George Honeyman's incredible physical output as he revealed the reasons behind his position switch. 29-year-old missed the first chunk of the season with injury and in weeks since returning had assumed different positions, usually out wide. But over the Christmas period, Honeyman has settled into a central midfield position and been partnered alongside George Saville and most recently Billy Mitchell. He has so far excelled in that central midfield position. His energy and work rate has not gone unnoticed. Edwards praised the midfielder as he revealed why he made the tweak. Obviously, he's praising him because he made the change. So it's like, well, it's the best thing since sliced bread because I did it. Exactly. He told us then, this Joe Edwards. Joe Edwards told us then. We were a team in a difficult place. We weren't getting results, and if I'm honest, I wasn't overly happy with the performances, and I didn't think we were having enough control of games in the midfield. George Honeyman is someone who, when you work with him day in, day out, his attitude and application every day is outstanding. He's an incredible professional, and I did feel I've got to a point with him where in my first probably 7 or 8 games we changed formation a few times, and he featured in different positions. And I hadn't actually nailed one down for him in my head, and I felt was his best or his best for him in our team. So kind of those two things really that I wanted more from us in midfield, and I knew George had something to offer, particularly in his energy. And if you look at the physical output from him in the last 2 games in particular, it's been incredible how much running he's gone through, as well as all the good stuff he's done on the ball. Position change is just something I wanted to try. I mean, we looked at it a little bit in the training sessions and tried it. And for a player, it's not about how you get your opportunity, it's about how you take it. He's taking it really well. Honeyman will be hoping to keep up his form in today's lunchtime clash. Obviously, this was written before that game. Lunchtime clash against Leicester City, where Edwards said he intends to play a strong team. In recent years, managers from Premier League and increasingly the Championship have sometimes used the third round of the FA Cup to rotate after the busy Christmas schedule. Speaking before Brooknott and Cuffy, Sean Hudson and Murray Wallace were ruled out with injury. Edwards said, it will definitely be a strong team. I won't be making rotations for rotation's sake or letting people have a turn of playing. I'll definitely be making a lot of selection choices based on merit, as it's an important game and it's a tough game. But at the same time, we did go all out to attack those 4 league games over Christmas as strongly as we could, and I wanted to keep consistency as much as possible. So there's definitely a small group of players that have probably gone over the limit. So if I get forced into changes by some real fatigue, then of course I'll do it, and it wouldn't surprise me as there were some wounded bodies on the bus on the way home from Bristol, but I'll still be trying to pick a strong team to get us through to the next round. Edwards thinks that this FA Cup clash will offer different challenges to Millwall's 3-2 league defeat at Leicester 24 days ago. He said, it's interesting because it's very much a game of 2 halves, both tactically and how the game played out. We won the first half there, if you like, and then the second half they did change system, which caused us some different problems. Although I can watch that game back, I still wouldn't be completely sure what they were going to come and do, as I've no doubt they'll come up with different options that we already frustrated them in the opening stage of the game. So they'll be wary of that happening again. But what I would say is that by playing at the Den in the Cup game is different going into the King Power in a league game. So we'll look at it back and decide what the best approach for us is. But certainly from what other teams have done to them, Leicester this season versus our night looked up there, we should take some confidence that this is a game where we've absolutely got an opportunity to progress to the next round of the Cup. It'll be tough. They're clearly the best team in our division, so it will be tough. But we should take the belief we gave them a few weeks ago. So yeah, there you go. Obviously, this was written before the game. And we did play quite well, but we didn't win. Now, moving on to this, you may have heard about this. That doesn't give much away. This is from the sun.co.uk. But it's all over the place. I mentioned the other day quite glibly that we've got our Millwall back, and we certainly seem to have our Millwall back. We're winning games, we're keeping clean sheets. We've got fans throwing starburst at linesmen. We've got players getting sent off, and we now have the controversy that goes around the media outlets, the usual ones, your BBCs, your Metros, your Guardians, your Mirrors. You know the ones who just can't wait to have a little dig at Millwall fans and Millwall in general. So, yeah, Millwall fans face court for sick gesture mocking tragic Leicester City chairman's helicopter crash ahead of FA Cup tie. The 2 Millwall fans face court for mocking the tragic death of Leicester City's former chairman ahead of the club's FA Cup tie. Footage shared on social media appeared to show the supporters making sick gestures towards the away stand at the Den Stadium this afternoon. So, I mean, probably may have seen it if you go to a game. There's people who spend the whole game just waving and blowing kisses and doing all kinds of weird things towards the away fans. And they're generally the same people who, when they're not doing that, are probably in the toilets smoking about a pack of cigarettes. So they spend all that money and they don't even watch any of the game, which is bizarre, but hey ho. That's how it goes. It's kind of weird to me, but whatever floats your boat. I think the weirdest ones are when you get the when they try to translate their phone number, so they go 0 and 7, and they put fingers up to try and tell the away fan their phone number so they can call them and have a little chat. Just bizarre to me. I don't know why you would want to do that, but yeah, there you go. So yeah, apparently they were doing it was on Twitter. So what happened is that some Leicester fan recorded this and decided, instead of sending it to the police or showing it to a steward, they would post it on Twitter. And then get some kudos and some likes and retweets, and probably have the biggest viral tweet that they're ever going to have in their life. And it'll probably be the highlight of their sad little lives, the little video that they made. But you can see here, so it says staff at Millwall's ground located in Bermondsey, South East London, were also reportedly seen speaking to them. The Metropolitan Police spokesman said 2 men were detained and ejected from the ground. They will each be summoned for an offence under the Public Order Act. So inquiries are ongoing to locate a third man in connection with the incident. Neither clubs have commented on the incident yet. So there you go. Yeah, the pictures were on here they had the pictures, and they had the faces of the two that got it. Well, obviously, I don't know if they were arrested. They were summoned. They were blurred out, but the third guy's picture wasn't blurred out, so I just blocked the photos. But yeah, so it says so this is indecency or out causing public outrage or some shit like that under the Public Order Act. But they did that to a few people in the stand, and that was dealt with at the time. They were seen to do that, but because the Leicester fan recorded it, and then they transmitted that across the whole of the globe by posting it on the internet on the site called X, formerly Twitter. So when are they going to get summons for that? If it's so bad that these people are going to get arrested and they're going to have legal proceedings against them, the guy filmed it. He transmitted it. If it's so bad, how's he going to get in trouble for doing that? Why not? And I would love to say, but we should be doing anything that China does, because China's a communist hellhole. But in China, when this kind of thing happens, not only do the people doing the thing that is the problem get in trouble, but the person who filmed it and put it on the internet gets in trouble as well. Because let's say I'm walking through the woods and I see some queer fella and his dog, and he's rogering his dog. That's bestiality, right? That's fucking sick as fuck. If I take a picture of this guy because I wanna, I'm not for that reason. No. But just so I can say, hey, police, there's this guy fucking this dog in the woods. So you want to come here and sort this out? But if I then take that picture or take a video and I put that online, that's bestiality pornography. I've committed an offence. That's illegal. So how is it not the same thing here? If something is offensive and it's a private thing that's happened in real life in a group of people and it's being dealt with, but someone films it and then they transmit it, aren't they also outraging public decency? Is that not how that works? I don't know. Maybe it should, because people filming stuff at football grounds and elsewhere and sharing it online is very cringy, very muggy. It's like I think we need to put a kibosh on that and get that sorted. But yeah, I'm not supporting these people. It's kind of weird what they do. All the people that go to that side of the ground and then don't even watch the game. They watch the away fans and just wave at them and do weird shit. It's weird to me, but getting arrested for doing it, like, it's not like they're doing monkey noises or something, or throwing bananas at people or some I don't know. It's in bad taste. It's offensive. But illegal. I think if Millwall go up to them and say, "Look, we want you to leave. We don't want you here," that's fair enough. But to get arrested for that, yeah, I think that's a bit too much there. Nanny State gone mad, was it? Ellen had basket and all of that. But whatever, we're moving on. Steve Morrison. I think he said Sean Morrison. Steve Morrison. Playing a blinder at Hornchurch. Got them runaway leaders of their league, whatever that league that is. I think it's Isthmian. Is it Isthmian Prem? I don't know. We'll probably find out if we read the story. It's from londonnewsonline.co.uk, the South London Press's online website. He's got himself a promotion of sorts, or I don't know if it's a good move, but he's moved to Sutton United. So obviously backs himself to do something there because they're rock bottom of League Two. I think they do have games in hand, but yeah, not going to be easy. So, former Millwall striker Steve Morrison has stepped down as manager of Isthmian League Premier Division leaders AFC Hornchurch to take charge of League Two side Sutton United. The 40-year-old took charge of the non-leaguers in June, and you can read our exclusive interview with him about dropping out of the professional game here. Yeah, that was quite a shock at the time that he would go down that far. What is that? Is that step 1 is non-league, step 2, so was that step 3? Going down to step 3? Yeah, a bit of a shock, that one, but right, he was bossing it. He was absolutely smashing it down there. The 40-year-old took Morrison's final match in charge of the Urchins was today's 1-1 home draw against Horsham. Hornchurch chairman Alex Sharp said, "I'm disappointed to confirm that Steve will be leaving us after 6 months, following probably the most impressive first half of season we've ever seen. Steve has brought a level of professionalism to the club that has lifted us from a disappointment of last season's playoff final defeat. And while I'm sad to see Steve leave, from the club's perspective, I'm delighted that he's got an exciting opportunity to return to the Football League so quickly, and feel proud that Hornchurch has provided a platform for that return. Steve has been fantastic for the club, and the foundation he's put in place sees us top of the league with games in hand and a fantastic goal difference. And we will do our best now to close out the season as we started off. And I'd like to place on record my sincere thanks to Steve and to Ant Fenton, who will take up the role of Steve's assistant from Monday." Morrison was sacked by Cardiff in September 2022. Yeah, not a surprise. He was their under-21 manager. He was running away with that. He was doing well with that. They were like undefeated in that league. That was like a couple of years ago before we won it, the under-21s. And then he got promoted to the first team manager. He was doing okay. But then obviously Cardiff, so he got fired because he wasn't super duper fabulous. getting fabulous results, so he got fired. And then a start of this season, a bit of a weird one. He goes to AFC Hornchurch, takes a manager, and he's just absolutely romped it. So fair play to him. But to leave a team that's doing really well, obviously it's a non-league team way down there, and he's doing very, very well there. But obviously it's a means to an end. He's not an AFC Hornchurch fan. It's his hired gun, and he's doing his job. And now he's got to go and do his job at Sutton, who are bottom of League Two. So good luck to the fella. Good luck to him. I know a lot of Mill fans got this bee in their bonnet about Steve Morrison because he told them to get off the fucking pitch. But I like the fella. I like him. His sincerity, his honest expression of genuine feeling. He doesn't like you being on the pitch, so he tells you to get the fuck off the pitch. What's wrong with that? Now, moving on to the under-21s. I can't remember if I mentioned this before, if I just read it myself privately. There's move in the loan situation, and I don't think this is related to our injury concern. So Carl Smith, it may be because the under-21 team I think they're kind of struggling, to be honest. They've got a lot of under-18s trying to go up to the under-21s. And you saw recently the 6-1 defeat. And they're not really playing. They were playing, and then they stopped playing for their loan clubs. So they're coming back, and Abdul Malik has actually been on loan at Wealdstone and playing for Millwall as well, because it's a youth loan, and that's the terms that you can get. So Lions loanees return to the den. This is from millwallfc.co.uk, the club's official website. Carl Smith and Abdul Malik have returned to Millwall Football Club following the expiry of their loan spells at Wealdstone. The under-21 Stars spent the first half of the 23-24 season at the Vanarama National League side, but now arrive back in SC16 to form part of Kevin Nugent's side once again. Elsewhere, Chin Ockley and Nana Boateng, currently both working their way back to full fitness from injury, will return to the den later this month following the expiration of their loan spells at Bromley and Woking respectively. So they've been injured, and they're coming back. Now, does that mean... Obviously, there was a chance there to renew. I assume to renew the loan and take it to the end of the season, which is we've done that in the past. Now the fact that they're injured probably rules that out. So if they come back, if they can get back to fitness before the end of January, and Bromley still want Chin back, can they take him back? And if Woking still want Nana Boateng back, can they take him back? They probably might, but I think they're probably not going to hang around waiting. They're probably going to keep looking around and trying to sign someone else. So just a bit of bad luck there. But if they come back into the under-21s, the under-21s might start. Maybe they can win that league again. And then maybe the under-18s can go and play in the FA Youth Cup next week against Grimsby, and they can smash that. So Joe Wright, meanwhile, was available for selection for the final time for Salford City ahead of his loan coming into an end this weekend. I thought that was for the season. I'm not sure what's going on there. I'm pretty sure when that was announced that was for the season, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just 6 months. He's been the number 2, sitting on the subs bench. He's had the odd game in the what they call it now, Bristol Street Motors Trophy, basically Auto Windscreens Trophy. You may know it as, because that's when we got there to the final. He had the odd game in that. But yeah, it was very hard for him to get looking when Salford City named their captain as the goalkeeper, Alex Cairn. So that, unless he got injured, and there's not really any way forward for Joe Wright, I don't think. Whilst Alex Mitchell continues on loan at Lincoln City for the rest of the season. So there you go. And these are the 4 still out on loan. So this was from Friday, I think. So those games are their last games. Alex Mitchell goes on next week. He carries on. And I think so. Joe Wright's back at Millwall, Nana Boateng's back at Millwall, and Chin Hogley's back at Millwall, and Carl Smith and Abdul Malik are back at Millwall. Now one player who has gone out on loan is this fella, Mill's Dylan Adai joins Everton Belvedere on youth loan. Now, I'm not sure. So they're saying he's an under-21s goalkeeper. I remember him signing in the summer, but I don't think he's been in an under-21 squad. So I don't know what's going on with that. Because the under-21 goalkeepers was it George Evans and Waddy. Yeah, they've had George Evans on the bench, and every now and then they might play Connell Truman, but I don't really remember seeing this guy being around. I don't know if he's been injured or what. So he's gone out for a month, 28-day youth loan, Everton Belvedere. He joined the club during the 22-23 campaign and will now gain experience at the Isthmian South East Division side. Dylan will be able to take his place in the squad for today's game away at Horndean. That was obviously on Saturday. They put this up Saturday morning. Now, moving on to talking about the under-21. So we'll see on Monday, because tomorrow they got a game on Monday, Swansea City away, what kind of team they'll put out. Carl Smith, Joe Wright. Is Joe Wright available? Is he going to play? Do they need him? I don't know. Obviously, they're smarting after Thursday's 6-1 defeat to Charlton. Pathetic, and that's not good at all. So they obviously need to make some kind of statement, and putting out a few decent players might be a way of doing that. Obviously, there's no Amaku now. Amaku's injured. He ain't coming in. Maybe SA might play, but I don't know about that. They've had the players. The players were on the bench for the Leicester game. Grant, Walker, Malaki, and Lawson. So we'll wait to see what kind of team they put out for this game, and hopefully they get a decent result. But yeah, it's at a training centre. I don't think it's going to be I don't think it's going to be public entry. You could probably ask Swansea if you can get in there if you want. I don't know. And it'll be live tweeted on Millwall Academy at Millwall Academy on Twitter, X, whatever you call it. But yeah, we'll wait and see. Wait and see the team that gets put out. Be interesting to see, and hopefully they get a decent result. That's it. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.